Chef, we would like to understand, my name is Sachin Marya. We've never met before. So I lead the editorial desk for the Entrepreneur Media. So I just
Yeah.
want, in the meantime, other panelists are joining, and it's a short notice. Thank you very much for you to take time out. It's a very serious
Thank
situation that we are experiencing. So we wanted to, as a business media for restaurant industry, we
yeah.
wanted to understand from leaders like yourself what is really happening right now. Your some advice, suggestions, because we are actually seeing it on the ground that it's not very highlighted as much. It's troubling. Uh, Chef Gill, you want to give us a sense before others join?
Sachin, thank you very much, for inviting me to this. Sachin, the thing is, at this time, I'm thinking it's a blessing in disguise that we started talking about this. But the
Mm-hmm.
situation is always there and always remain there if we will not find some good, mindful solution for this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are not taking food and beverage as a very serious subject in the country. It's a
Right.
neglected subject, totally neglected. We, you, more people who are interested into this to improve this thing, we all are struggling to do it. But at the end, we don't reach anywhere. We are some good things will happen with their one day they will happen by default. I don't know you and me will any contribution into that or not, but it will happen one day because things cannot go wrong all the time, centuries and centuries. Things will happen, and we should very seriously think about it and to solve this problem of the cooking of food or food production or you know preparing food for we are the feeders. we
Yeah.
we feed the society in many ways. We feed the society, whether it's a restaurant or catering or hotels or hospitals or you know midday meals or the canteens or institutional catering. Everywhere the food is cooked, and that is cannot be stopped in whatever conditions they are. This will
Right.
continue. We should not take this subject only, oh, restaurant catering, they make a lot of money and this and that, so it is not essential for them to make money. No, we are making money, but we are feeding people. We are feeding people, and they need the food every 2-3 hours, people to eat it. So we should take it very seriously and find out some solution which is forever. Whether it is to make a policy or to make, whatever. Or we have to reform our areas wherever possible. Like I don't agree that these days the fashion, particularly in North India, has become very fashionable to have 200 dishes on the buffet. Why? We also be responsible. We have to also think and reform ourselves. And I'm not saying that money can be made even that way also. It is not that by putting 200 dishes, undercutting people, all kind of wrong as things happen which are not required in our system, and nowhere in the world it is. Even in India, you will not find particularly the catering thing in Delhi or in North India and how it is in the South. Even in the East and the West, people come in time and have food. Here the food is open or the food is served and food must be available till 3 or 4 in the morning. Why? No. So we also as an industry have to reform ourselves. We have to see. Or if there is a need to educate the customer, we should educate the customer. We should. So all say that what I'm trying to tell you is the subject of food in commercial is not very serious subject which is handled by the stakeholders in it, whether it's the government policymakers or the energy suppliers or operators, packaging, manpower suppliers. There's a lack of education in the manpower so much. We are not preparing ourselves for the future.
So, Chef, thank you very much. First of all, I think your commitment and focus on helping the industry elevate has been second to none. I think you've done more than most of the people I know of. But I want to keep this discussion only to the shortage of LPG. I know it's a very short notice that some of our panelists have taken time out. So I want to keep
Yeah.
it short for about 20, 25 minutes of conversation. Um,
Yeah.
and want to keep it around LPG. What is the ground reality? So, Mrs. Shubu, you want to share some information about what's really going uh, south in terms of the LPG situation.
I
And
think
what
in,
is
in,
the
in
real
one
situation?
yeah, in one line I can tell you that we don't have any policy or a strategy for the commercial LPG supply. I think it's the same policy, the same way, same distribution, what is the domestic supply. But the need is different, requirement is different. We should have a different system, different supply, totally different supply line of the LPG supply. If we are only talking about the LPG for a only thing, it's not as a complete fuel. So that's the bigger issue. And because maybe it is because the restaurant or the supply in the restaurant restaurants are not taken as essential services.
Yeah, that's a
No,
valid point. But is it true that government has actually put a restriction on the commercial cylinders and prioritizing on domestic cylinders? And is that really a? And do you have a
because
data in terms of how many people
no,
actually
no,
eat, yeah, are dependent on outside food rather than making food in?
I'm not a data person on these things. I don't have any data, but I have a feel, I have a gut feel, and I have a see the industry day and night and
Hmm.
interact with the industry people. That's what I'm saying because we don't have we only that is the same system we have, same policy we have. So home is more important and stop the supply in the and naturally when the people go out, they don't do the gas in the house. So it doesn't matter, but it should be, little bit percentage maybe here and there of higher consumption. But the even the home deliveries are so important. There are a lot of people only depending on the home delivery. A lot of singles, a lot of people who are working out their cities and living into guest houses. They all are on the the delivery supply. So if that delivery supply should not be taken as a commercial side, close, stop it.
Sure, Chef. I want to bring in Mr. Subu here.
Yeah.
Mr. Subu, could you share your thoughts on with us on the same?
Yes, sir. It is very simple. Who is taking food in the hotels? There is no difference between commercial and domestic in this place. All the people, those are taking food, those who are in need only. Only few people for weekend alone goes for a change to the restaurant. All others are necessary food only. Those who are traveling for official reason or business reason, or the students or their parents going for the school, colleges, and other things, patients, those who are going to hospitals, and their relatives, these are our customers, nobody else. But the government is prioritizing the domestic supply, hospital canteens, and college canteens. Then it is also equally important. This is also essential service. That's what I'm telling. But the government now restricted the hotels alone. After a long fight, they were completely stopped it immediately. But after a long fight, they were agreed to give 20% of the supply, what we are using previously. That's, there is also, we are reaching slowly. We are able to manage a little bit. Few hotels closed down, but not all. But yeah, we have learned how to survive without gas nowadays. We are finding so many alternatives. We are using power and induction stoves wherever possible, and some coal wherever possible, and firewood also we are using in our commercial kitchen or central kitchen. It is like that only. But in the cities, very small places, there people used to work with the LPG alone. Now it is not possible to change from there. Because even if we want to use induction stoves, the government is unable to supply power immediately. It's very difficult to get the power also. We are unable to get the equipment also. The equipment manufacturer also have some small capacity only. Now everybody rush to them. It's not possible to make in a single day for everybody. That is another problem. So we have ordered for it. Wherever possible, we are using it. Some people previously using, they got removed it because the cost is escalated. Compared to LPG cylinder, power cost is more. That is the real ground reality. Now we are approaching both the government. We request the central government kindly give us more cylinders, LPG, for our use. Otherwise, it is very difficult. We approach the state government, kindly provided uninterrupted power. There also we put different demand. The hotel industry declared as industry. Previously, it is hospitality sector. Now, both central government and Tamil Nadu state government declared this as industry. But unfortunately, they are not passing on any such benefits. For example, for industry, there is 2 rupees less than commercial supply of power per unit, 2 rupees less. But they are not passing it on to us. For interest subsidy also there, for the equipment also there is a subsidy. Nothing is provided so far. Now we are fighting with the state government. Kindly provide that benefit also. You'd really consider this as an industry. Next step for solar. If we are using it in the house as domestic purpose, they are giving 100% credit. What we are exporting, we can get 100% in domestic use. But for commercial use, when we are export to the system, they give us only 2 rupees. If you are getting back the same power from them, they are charging 11 rupees. So it is a very pathetic situation. We request the government, you give 100% return to us in the same way as they are treating us domestic. Another problem, we are unable to purchase or outsource the power from private sectors. Instead, HC customers, they can purchase power from private sector. It is somewhat 2 or 3 rupees less or 5 rupees even less in some year. So we are requesting the government kindly permit us to purchase from the outside also for LT customer also. But most of the restaurants are LT connections. They are not coming under HC connection. This is our request to them.
Very, very insightful. Some more information I seek. So we've got another panelist. Hi.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. So your opening remarks, just on the present situation. So we've got Chef Gill and Subbu already starting to tell us that what is the real problem that we are facing on LPG. But your opening remarks, what you're experiencing, and your thoughts on it.
So, like we are in the vicinity of the software building, where we have the centralized LPG system for us. Till yesterday, it was like they were giving us a breakup of morning May. They were giving us 3 hours of LPG, and evening May again they were giving 3 hours of gas supply. So today morning they suddenly came up and said we couldn't be able to do it from tomorrow. So you'll have to come up with your own ideas, ideologies, and all. Being in this into software vicinity, the building, we couldn't be able to get the wood fire. That's a major problem what we are facing now. So we rush to the couple of places where we know where we can hire the place. The guests should not suffer. Where couldn't be we have around 300 to 400 walk-ins a day. We'll have to somewhat able to give the food to them. That's what is the idea behind it. So what we have done is we have reduced the menu. Like we have around 120 plus items in our menu. Now we cut it short to 30 items. So that's how we are running. The fastest moving item now in our existing menu is biryani again. Like we based out of in Hyderabad, most of our consumption is biryani. So that is where we are facing the challenge that somewhat we couldn't be able to manage now. let's see what we are going to do. We finalized few places. LPG, though, the internal news, what we came across is within a week, we'll get rid of all these problems. Not exactly sure, fingers crossed, we'll have to say. And the problem again, to switch to electricity, we should have that kind of power which should support our equipments. That's again a challenge. That's what we are actually looking for. Let's see.
Chef Gill, what you were saying comes across as a common sentiment that the government doesn't recognize the industry as essential, and it also doesn't recognize that the kind of necessity we serve is also subjective. From a business point of view, आपका क्या मतलब मानना है कि इस पे कितना नुकसान सहेगी इंडस्ट्री, because this industry is always under pressure. अब इसके आने के बाद तो there'll be an additional pressure, and like Mr. Subbu said that there are closures of some units. Do you really see if this sustains for a month or two, there'll be some collateral damage of in terms of the overall damage?
You see, Sachin, that's what I'm not too much stressing on today's issue. Today's issue will be faced whichever way, like just now you were saying, we are finding the ways what to do. Tomorrow there will be no gas, they said, and all that. These things will happen. I don't think will be able to solve that problem today in the meeting. What is tomorrow we are going to happen. But, the closing, I'm saying the mindset has to change. It is not a luxury. F&B business is not a luxury. We should not see the top bracket of 2% or 1% of the luxury. It is a masses. And whether it's a luxury or the masses, the food and beverage, if you close it, farmers will suffer. Supply chain people will suffer. The labor will suffer who are helping in the supply chain. Their income will stop. In any case, even if they have a gas in the house, they will not be able to cook food for themselves. Then kitchens will suffer. Ultimately, the customer will suffer at the end. And like Mr. Saul was saying about the industry benefit, we should give. For export, you get the benefit, so much of percentage. What we are earning foreign exchange in this industry is not a benefit to the country. That is not like an export. It's a very high revenue earning, foreign exchange earning revenue earning company, industry.
That's right.
What are we getting the discount on that? How do we at level? Even the foreign guests come, we give the foreign exchange, maybe stay in a 5-star hotel, but he eats on the street and the good restaurants also. They spend money. So we should take the industry in a very different way, very different perspective. It affects from farmer to the revenue earning and the taxes we pay and the employment generation. See how many people will be unemployed if we close the industry for 1 month. Or some days, if we reduce the menus or reduce the supply or reduce the customers, how many unemployed people will be there? It's a very highly labor-oriented industry. When they don't have employment, for what they will do, gas in the house.
So there are two points here. One is the short-term impact. So some reports say there is an impact on 30% overall, which is significant in my view. Because your expenses remain same, practically it's impacting the overall business. And second, I think what is important, which Chef Gill and Mr. Subbu has also highlighted, that we have to really now start thinking of a mid to long term change in dependence on LPG. I think one of the key things that I would like to hear from all of you is how much of adoption of alternate fuel is something. I hear that it may not happen at a critical or a crisis situation right now, but do you think it's going to trigger, and probably over a period of time there's going to be change in terms of our dependence? And so, as rightly Mr. Subbu has said, that there should be a healthy dialogue, and not just in terms of paper strategy but execution, so that we are able to sort of move beyond LPG. So your thoughts, I'll start with Mr. Subbu first and then other panelists.
Yes, sir, I understand. As Mr. Manoj Singh Gill told very clearly, it is not only problem of supplying of food. In the long term, it will affect the milk vendors, agriculturists, and so many suppliers. It will affect it. Hence, we are thinking, I request the central government and the LPG suppliers, you give at least 75%. We are able to manage. We are also learning so many things in the crisis. How to manage with less sources, less usage of LPG. Other sources are there, but it is not possible to change immediately within few days or something like that. We have to equip. If the time comes, even after 1 month, we are able to manage. So we are finding out all the alternative solutions. Now also we install so many equipments in with current, that is induction stoves, wherever possible. That is possible. Directly we are using solar for making hot water and using that hot water for the cooking. So we are able to save the energy, but not possible with 100%. Then depend upon the different places also. Some places we have central kitchen. There we have enough space. We are able to cook there with firewood and other things. If I eat, as he told, it is in the IT field or within some complexes, commercial complexes, it is very difficult to. There is a very limited place available. The place also designed to use only LPG or electricity. There is no smoke chimney. The previous time we have everywhere smoke chimney and other things. Now the skill of the laborers, all the laborers also learn only to cook in the with the cylinder only. It is very, very difficult to change them all of a sudden to firewood. Even we are unable to stand there for a few minutes because of the smoke and so many things. So it will take time to change. But everything is possible in the world. Unfortunately, we are unable to blame any person except Donald Trump. So the regular relief is only come from the change in the mind of Mr. Trump. Otherwise, it's very difficult. We have to manage it.
No, fair point. I think industry, I always say that we are the most resilient industry, most supportive industry, not just for our customer, for our suppliers, for our governments. I think this industry has always stood in thick and thin with all stakeholders. So I think that goes without saying. I want to bring other panelists in. Anybody wants to sort of add on from a mid to long term, what kind of a change this would trigger in terms of our dependence or ensuring that we are not overly dependent on LPG?
For these issues, what happened now regarding the LPG, I think it's a good learning for all the chefs and even the investors who are investing on the standalone restaurants. They used to think about the cost cutting part, जहाँ पर cut कर सकते हैं हम लोग. When we try to convince them for conversion combi ovens and all, they would say क्या जरूरी है उसकी, why don't we run with the LPG and all. Now they are realizing if you would have invested at that time, that would have been much more easier in terms of dependency कम हो जाती थी. So that is where the people are understanding. Now, I think we should train the people as in terms of the staff also, as in terms of the people who are actual investors and the owners who are doing the part. Yes, this is a good learning for them. It is little difficult for us to handle this kind of situation. Being into the software vicinity, as I said, we are facing few extra challenges than the people who are actually on the standalone places and the hotels. Yes, we are facing little more challenges than them. We couldn't be able to do wood fire cooking. We couldn't be able to buy our own LPG cylinders to the vicinity because they have some laws according to their vicinity and all. Yes, this is a good part. As you see, there are plus and minus for every kind of situation. Yes, definitely, yes, situation mein, we should definitely learn how to switch, how to manage in terms of in future kitchen mein, how to switch. It should not be fully dependent on LPG and all. That's my suggestion for the future kitchen and all.
Paper. So we're running out of time. So, Chef, I'm going to bring you again in, and you played a significant role in terms of transforming and talent. How much talent would be ready for this change? Sometimes even our chefs, even our kitchen staff is not very okay with moving to change in terms of technology or energy sources. So give us a sense, how much it will impact in terms of menu designs, in terms of, how we would be able to transform, because this problem is not for today. This is a problem which is going to face eventually. And I think it is a signal that one would look at alternate energy sources.
Uh, you see, the education side, the training side is very weak, very, very weak. That, and particularly the education on the line cooks, first we must differentiate between the chef and the cook.
Yeah.
So because we don't have differentiation, anybody wearing the white jacket is a chef, and the many, many owners, they think that they can run the kitchen because wearing a white jacket, they can do it. Ultimately, he cannot. It is like running a hospital without doctors, only technicians. And technicians are also very good and expert in doing the things, but you cannot. So that difference has to be understood by the operators or the investors or the owners or, whatever. That's a different subject. And the line cooks are not trained to handle the technology. That is why the investors are not able to, or they are not ready to spend the money, because the staff is not trained to handle the technology. And without technology introducing into a system, we will not be able to create a good, safe, hygienic food. Also, it is not that it is a comfort of the cook or the chef if you use the technology. It is for the food safety, is also there, hygienic also there, and energy conservation also there. So education side, we are very weak. We are not, I don't think there's any efforts are happening. As a constructive, I'm saying, if you talk to individual trainers of the colleges, they will say, oh, we do this, but what's in the market output is not what they do if they are doing all. So we have to have reform all these things now. That is what I'm saying in my starting point only, that we are struggling in food and beverage. We are finding the solutions only day-to-day solutions. We are not thinking long term that how this is going to happen, the industry is going to reform and move ahead in the future. Technology has to be there. Like the chef was talking about the combi oven, there has to be all kind of fuel we must use in the kitchen and see how much we do the energy conservation, and we use the less and less fuel, but high productivity. We might have to go through our traditional recipes also, and to keep the traditional flavor, traditional taste, traditional texture, but cooking with the technology. So in that might be we have to change the recipe steps and this and that. That's the education required. Now, like there's a very, as the future is coming, and I strongly believe that even at this age also, that the processed food is the only answer for the future. If we want to save energy also in the restaurant at the outlet level. Now, processed food, we must understand what processed food means. It should not be taken as it's unhealthy. Processed food is made. My question is, the processed food technology is created for whom? For the defense people? You want they should get unhygienic, they should get unnourished food? It is a bad food. Processed food is done for the space. It is they will want to give them the bad food. We must understand this processed food. And then we must train our people now that they, from processed food, how they regenerate food at the outlet end. They must know what to buy so that you need less energy at the outlet. But you cannot, we have to find the ways and means. We need much more industrial interaction for all these things.
Valuable.
We have to think for a long term. We have to think. I'm telling you, we are just starting from zero at this moment. We only have these things, good business, a lot of revenue, this, that, a lot of progressive, modern food. We are just feeling happy with these things, but these are not the solution. They are not solving our operating solution for the people, young people to join this industry and then carry on as a career. Why the number is reducing in the hotel schools? We have to think. We have to work on these things.
Fair. In interest of time, I just have last 5 minutes left.
Last, I just like to have one point. I very strongly I want to put that, there should be a very constructive interaction with the policymakers. If we don't do, we will not achieve. We can keep talking unless the policies will not come. Like as a policy, they recognize kit or hotels as an industry. Now we need the further interaction that what benefits, how we can get all these things. If we recognize industry, so what? What happened? Nothing. So we need a very strong interaction with the policy makers. They must be present when we talk. And I strongly believe, and Mr. Sahu and you people can take it, a kitchen that save energy. That's the technology we have to bring in. All kind of fuel which will save energy and respect the traditional wisdom of food, encourages safety, food safety, hygiene. It must get
valuable, Chef.
holiday, tax holiday for 5 years. If we compliance with the golden rules of future kitchen. Where
Chef, I'm sorry, I have to cut it here. Mr. Subbu, your last remarks before we wrap it up.
There are few things. We are using combi oven or wok, whatever it may be. Previously, we are using with LPG only. If we convert it into power, it will take long time. To get such a power also, it will take the time. Next thing is cost implication. The cost on the definitely 25% maybe escalate. We have to put the cost again in the heads of the customers. They have to pay at the end of the day. Another thing, hygiene. Even if we bring firewood inside the kitchen atmosphere will be entirely spoiled. With firewood, a lot of pests like cockroaches and other things automatically come inside. It is very difficult to segregate them. Apart from that, smoke. It will spoil the entire kitchen atmosphere again. Even if you prepare some idlis, there causes a lot of black spot in the few days. Again, we are struggling a lot to prevent the pests and the hygienic inside the kitchen. Then another thing is cost escalation. So everything a cycle effect, and we pray God to review the situation and to join the chain again, the breaking chain. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult. But fortunately, the government is taking proper steps to bring gas inside. Compared to all other countries, we are safe, I think. We will come out of the situation very soon. We hope so.
That's a good parting note. Last remarks from you.
Same like Chef Subbu sir said, we hope for the best. That's what even I've said in the previous point. We got the internal news that it might get sorted in a week or so. We are still hoping for the best. Let's see. And irrespective of if the problem is sorted or not, like Chef Gill said, we should get trained for all other kind of power consumption also. Like we should get trained in terms of getting the electric equipments, like the biogas. We'll have to get ready for everything. It should not repeat again. If such kind of issues come next time, we should be well prepared for that. I would say that. Now, like if you actually see our existing kitchens are 80% dependence on LPG. We should plan for 50-50 at least on the future part, where we cannot be able, we can able to handle this kind of situation is my suggestion.
So great. Thank you, panelists. This has been a quick, short discussion, and I think very constructive. I would put it, and great ideas coming from all three of you. So I thank you very much, and we'll continue to sort of cover this space and create some voice for the industry. Thank you very much for joining.
Thank you, Sachin. All the best.
Thank you.